Hello and welcome to all of you basketball lovers out there. We are here on BNL Courtside, and wow, we had a very exciting second week. I'm here with my two main men. We form the tripartite alliance of basketball in SA. Q, Mkolisi. Guys, very exciting second week. I am mad excited about this BNL season, man.
Exciting stuff, KP. I mean, all the way from Friday and right through Sunday, it's just been basketball galore. And I really like the fact that, you know, they pack in a whole lot of games over a 3-day space. It gives everyone who didn't get an opportunity last weekend to come through this weekend, and anyone who didn't come through on Friday night to come through on other days as well. But the quality of basketball has been great, and really, there are a whole lot of surprises in store for everyone out there who is a fan of basketball, especially supporters of their respective teams.
And let me touch a little bit about that. The supporters, Q, we had a lot of support coming through this weekend. Clearly, the BNL started to catch some fire.
Hey, it was amazing, man. The atmosphere in the stadium, you know, the drummers from the Doozy Royals, the support for the Northwest Eagles, you know, the jeering from the free throw line, that all makes for a wonderful basketball experience. And, you know, the supporters really add value to what's happening in the BNL. BNL starting to gain some traction, and it's exciting for us as commentators and for the fans and for the players. The players appreciate it most, I know, because I was one of them.
Well, the musos have said it. Now we're going to go into the action from Friday, and wow, it was a jam-packed Friday night. Let's check out this action.
Well, we'll take a look at the first matchup on Friday. Soweto Panthers going against the Free State Warriors, and the Panthers coming out with a win in this game, and the Warriors really were in the game and they had the opportunity to get the win, but they just didn't stick out throughout the game. Thabo Sithole over there on the baseline, hanging in the air with the running floater on the baseline and able to score. And Vusi Sithole as well was a difference maker for the Free State Warriors.
The Panthers relying on some of their youth and outside shooting. We see Kadeho Kitty, he hit the first three from the perimeter, and the Warriors were fighting all the way. Basket for Makabe, and the ever mercurial captain Sithole tried his best to keep the Warriors in the game.
I mean, really, the Warriors, they came out in the clutch. I mean, they got their first W of the season, but I think the Panthers were clearly just a little bit too strong for them.
The Warriors had them throughout the first two quarters, and it was for the Warriors for them to win that game. You know, you speak to Coach Clement Cock, and he lets you know that he just wants the players to do what they can do best on the floor. But the Warriors held on for 2 quarters. The Panthers overpowered them and were able to eke out the victory in the end.
Q, however, Vusi Sithole, he's the money man for the Warriors. He clearly came out, he got his stats.
He always gets his stats, he always gets his shots, and even if you scout him, he's very difficult to stop. He's a player who likes to get to his spots on the three-point line. You know, he's quite a proficient three-point shooter from the perimeter. And, you know, he also gets inside, and, you know, a key player for the Free State Warriors, he really is. You know, he's a difficult man to stop. He also does it on the defensive end. He's just an energy man. You know, you saw him block a couple of players. You see him assisting his teammates, and, you know, I don't know what else I can say about Vusi Sithole other than the fact that he was a 2013 BNL All-Star, and he's one of the players that people should come out to the stadium and watch live.
And after a great first game that saw the Panthers coming through over the Warriors, we still had another game to come through. Let's check out those highlights.
Well, the defending champions Tshwane Suns from 2013 taking on the Northwest Eagles, and Alan Danga just starting the game well with an opening three-pointer, and at the same time Malaki Aluate was also up to the challenge, also hitting a 3 of his own. Both teams were very neck and neck throughout the first quarter, but going into the rest of the game, the Suns started to scorch and burn the Eagles. Neo Motiba on the break with an easy layup. Everyone thought that he was going to come on with a dunk on that play, but just an easy layup to secure the simple basket.
And this was expected to be an open, free-flowing game. We got a lot of that. See, transition basketball, Lebogang Basi taking it to the rim. Musam Tempo timing it, but ball still ending up in the rim. And Tepo Sihume, he was one of the key players for the Northwest Eagles. He had 15 points in the fourth quarter, and it was an offensive explosion from the short man, number 5 from the Northwest, Doom Konto, getting that. He was the player of the game, MVP, almost perfect from the field. And, you know, the Suns always get different scorers and different performances on an evening.
And after a great round of first games on Friday, guys, it was, I mean, what I think stood out for you guys regarding the two teams that got the W?
What stood out for me was Mdum Konto. You know, he was near perfect from the field. I think he was 3 for 3 from the outside and 6 for 7 in total from the field. You know, as a point guard, to get those sort of stats from the field, you know, you have to do good work. And Konto was a key player, played really well. And if they can get that sort of scoring from someone who doesn't start, then the Suns is just going to be really difficult to stop going forward.
Now, Mxolisi, I think we're giving all these other teams a lot of depth, but I think the team that deserves the most depth are the Tshwane Suns, because they've come out, I think, stronger than they did at the beginning of last season.
The Tshwane Suns have retained the core of the team, number 1. Number 2, they've only added Litlokonolo Tulu at the point guard position. And then they have developed, you know. We did not see Somusa Mthembu coming out as a defensive presence last year, but this year he stepped up and he's just a problem in the lower block. Anything that goes up, he's going to go for it. Mlungisi Shongwe and Gideon Mulamba as well. And what more do you want me to say about Neo Mutiba? He's just an all-round performer on the court. He does everything, you know, especially at the small forward position. Watch out for the Tshwane Suns in 2014.
Of course, guys, you need to watch out for the Tshwane Suns. They are the team that everyone is trying to supersede right now, but clearly they're not trying to relinquish that crown. However, on Saturday, we had an even more exciting round of games, especially with the Duzi Royals coming through.
And that very first game that we had on Saturday midday, it was the Free State Warriors going up against the Limpopo Pride, Themba Siyoko, just a difference maker for the Free State Warriors. And LK4 coming in as well with a 3-pointer of his own, struggled a little bit in the game but got going later on. Itumeleng Makulumakwe, the passionate and very aggressive player, also came into the game and did things that were not characteristic of his game, being more of a shooter.
And the Golden Warriors fought hard against the Pride. The Pride, you know, they're a difficult team to read because you can get different types of performances from the players of the Pride. And Tuso Moilwa, known for his shot blocking ability and his timing, that though looked like a goaltend, and I thought the referees got it wrong on that call. Captain Fumani Maranele of the Pride actually came to the game to play, and he was the deserved player of the game in this contest. You know, gave them inside and outside scoring, and here a beautiful spin on the baseline from the said captain Fumani Maranele. He is such an athlete, elevates high, puts it off the glass and gets the finish.
Let's talk a little bit though about this Limpopo Pride team. They came out, they got their first win. Fumani being very clutch for his team in the end.
No one for me in this league epitomizes the value of being a small ball player like Fumani Maranele. He's got endurance, he's got a strong core, he can run off the ball, he can handle the ball, he can crash the rebounds, he can dunk the ball, he can shoot the ball very well. Fumani Maranele is the heart and soul of the Limpopo Pride. If they lose him, for any reason, the Limpopo Pride are in trouble. But the fact that Fumani Maranele dedicates himself to the game, it means the Limpopo Pride can depend on him in tough situations.
All right, Q. Now let's talk a little bit about the Warriors. Of course, their money man is Busisi Tole. He can do everything. I mean, he's athletic, he shoots the 3, he takes it to the basket, but how long can he carry the entire load, and what do the Warriors need to do to fix that problem?
That's a great question, because I don't know how long he can carry the team. Every time I think he's going to run out of steam, he keeps coming up with answers. He can shoot from the outside. If you overguard him, he drives to the rim. But one positive sign for the Warriors, Themba Siyoko, left-handed number 13, he started to come to the party. They've gotten some scoring from the captain, Makolo Makwe. You know, they're starting to find other sources of scoring other than Matabe and Sitole, and that only positive for this Free State Golden Warriors team as the league progresses.
And there you heard it, guys, from the Musos themselves. However, we had a nice round of games, though, that saw the Doozy Royals now coming through for the first time in the BNL League. Let's check out these action.
And the Doozy Royals taking on the Mpumalanga Rhinos, a hotly contested affair. Nkosinathi Festile doing what he does best and that is shooting the three. Mxolisi Ndlanya as well, equal to the challenge over there and finishing on the break.
And this game all about Captain Kagiso Nkwejana. He played out of his skin for the Rhinos. Tsakani Ngobeni, though, the opposite number 14, also trying to have his say for the Doozy Royals. The Doozy Royals, of course, without their American imports, and that a source of controversy over the weekend and something we probably discussed a little later. And they had a beautiful block and defensive play. Dabang Banda in transition, getting the finish. And this game would go to overtime. Both teams evenly matched. Both teams came to play. And perimeter shooting was poor and low field goal percentage plagued both teams. Number 10, Shabalala, hitting it from the outside. Very beautiful play from Sitole. Sakile Sitole provided some scoring for the Royals, and he found an identity in that game.
And a really, really great round of action there. The Doozy Royals really being very, very clutch and answering to everyone's, curiosity about what this team has to offer. And guys, let's speak a little bit about what this team really does have to offer for the duration of the season.
A whole lot of surprises, man, but you can just see how the standard of basketball has just been raised. You saw them play today, and you saw them play in Saturday's game against the Rhinos. They did well when they went to overtime. The Rhinos, in fact, did not score in overtime, and they prevailed. And behind the young players that they have and the experience of Tsakani Ngobeni and Cyril Shabalala, the Doozy Royals will go far, man. Mind you, just like the Tshwane Suns, they have a big corporate machine behind them. They are just like Interscope Records.
And that is actually the question that I was going to pose to you, Quinton, is how important now is the management of the Doozy Royals? Because you see that their management is fully behind them, and I'm sure that's going to play a part going forward into the season.
I was actually going to interject with Kolisi's statement. I was going to just say they brought Showtime to South African basketball. They really have. They brought T-shirts. They brought their own clan. The dancers. They brought Showtime to the floor. We were expecting to see those American players on the floor, and it was going to be part of the puzzle of why people came to fill that arena. The arena really getting packed that day, and the Doozy Royals really, too many things have been said about them this weekend. They brought the hype. They delivered on court, and it was a great show by them.
Hi, I'm Teach Mabiza from the Tshwane Suns. Catch all the BNL action live and exclusive on SuperSport.
And of course, yes, we have it now. The Doozy Royals, clearly, they're the team to watch. However, the other half of the Natal combination played as well, and that was the KwaZulu Marlins. And they clearly came out and showed that they are a team to be reckoned with as well.
The Marlins in their first game in the BNL in 2014 were faced up against the Eastern Cape Windbreakers, and it was just Marlins, all Marlins throughout the game. Darren Holcomb playing his game, hitting short jumpers, and Craig Gilchrist also having an opportunity to play in the game. Sibusiso Cele hitting a corner three and giving Craig Gilchrist the assist on that play.
And this game really all about the Marlins big men. The Windbreakers tried to find ways of breaking down this tough Marlins defense. Jobson Manana in free play, and that a spectacular play, and injured himself after this play, Luvuyo Manana, and he's a really quick point guard for the Eastern Cape Windbreakers. The Marlins, though, underneath Ryan McPhee, Darren Holcomb, Craig Gilchrist, and Tabang Khwedi, that combination very difficult, and they're going to be very difficult to stop as the season progresses. Manana once again, after the injury, still able to get out on the floor. You see him hobbling away after making the layup. Naka getting it in transition. Beautiful baseline pass. And this game for the Marlins, really all about execution.
Great start there for the Coastal Connection is what I'm going to call them. And guys, I see we got a lot of stuff to expect from these guys. They came out and played really well in their opening matchups.
KZN basketball, man, it is steeped in tradition. So one of these two teams is going to represent the province going deep into the season and into the playoffs as well. And they'll be playing for pride and bragging rights back home, you know. So both of them have a lot of expectations to live up to. I think the coaches as well. I was saying to Q, in fact, earlier on in the booth that both of these teams boast a lot of players from KwaZulu-Natal. The owners are from KwaZulu-Natal and the coaches as well are from KwaZulu-Natal. So yes, they are definitely playing for bragging rights.
Q, I want to speak to you a little bit about the rivalry though. And I'm talking about the rivalry between Gauteng and Natal. I mean, we were firmly entrenched in that. I wonder how it feels now. Players like Zakani Ngobeni, they're now playing for the Natal teams.
I think professional basketball changes the rivalry a little bit. Even though the teams are based in the respective provinces, players can ply their trade wherever they want, and Tsakani and Ngobeni can obviously add value, and that's why Kevin Mabanga chased him so hard. You know, it's not necessarily about rivalry. I guess each team now has got to build their allegiances with their fans, and it's going to be really important as we go forward. You know, players are the reason the fans come out to watch the games, and these same players are going to take their fan bases with them when they start traveling. So Gauteng, Natal, I hear you back in the past, but now it's all about Royals, Marlins, Panthers and Suns, and where your allegiances really lie.
Really exciting start to the season, guys. But Sunday we had a whole new round of games. Let's check out that action.
Well, Sunday games starting at midday, the Northwest Eagles and the Eastern Cape Windbreakers. The Windbreakers right now still winless, but Maseko coming in there with the layup. And just as a point to note is that the Windbreakers had the Eagles throughout 2 quarters and they lost the game in the last 2 quarters. It was all players like Shoniwa Usha, but Shoniwa Usha going in for the layup over there and he was just blocked and denied, pinned to the backboard.
And this one of the best performances by the Windbreakers, frustrating the Eagles. We saw Coach Yamasa Ngakani looking on, happy to sit in the zone. Jobson, he led scoring for the Windbreakers. He had 10 points at the half, elevating and skying on the baseline. But it's all about the brothers Luwate for the Northwest Eagles, and Khomotso Luwate finding it from range. His brother, Lucky Luwate, player of the game. He hit 4 threes and was a scoring spark that led to the Northwest Eagles triumphing over the Eastern Cape Windbreakers.
And I mean, great action that we're seeing there, guys. A lot of crowd support. But let's talk a little bit about this Eagles team. I think Tsiamo Ngakane, what's your take? Him being on the floor or in the suit coaching his team?
I just hope, KP, that he doesn't get the basketball Jones itching and biting him on the bench, and we see him tearing off his suit like Superman, and underneath he's got his uniform and he's ready to get on the floor to execute what his players are not doing on the floor, you know. But a player coach situation, it's not something that I've seen before, but it'll be interesting to see how it pans and plays out throughout the season.
Q, let's talk a little bit now. I mean, the way I see it, the Eagles really need some help from the offensive end. Yes, they've got Lucky, but Tsiamo's scoring is definitely needed. Do you think that he's better behind the floor or on it?
Tsiamo can play a role of facilitator as well. I think he's made his decision and is happy to live with it. You know, these Eagles guards, the Luwate brothers, if they get going and as the season progresses, they will get better. They settled for 33-point attempts in that game. You know, they weren't very successful. They hit 9 of 30. As the season goes on, that percentage will increase. They get good looks. The offense is orientated around that 3-point shot, and any one of those guards starts the offense. Tsiamo does not need to fit into that offense anymore. You know, he's a big guard and can play defense, but he doesn't need to do that anymore. He needs to make sure that he gets the good looks for the players on the floor.
And great action there. We hear from these guys. Ngakani, you know, we're kind of split between the two, where they should be on the floor or off. However, we know what was on the floor in the last game that saw the Royals going up against the Marlins, and it was action-packed. Check out this action.
Well, this game between the Marlins and the Royals was tight from the opening whistle, and it went all the way down to the final 0.3 seconds of the game. But in the game, as the game started, you had players coming in and showing their own skills on the court. Dumisani Gebashe coming in there with the block on Christian Mdleje, and the danger man there who made a difference for the Royals team when they were down, Musa Kumalo. He played huge for the Duzi Royals.
It really was all about Kumalo, and it was the battle of the shooting guards. We see Mtalani take it to the rim. Looking to draw the foul was Dlamini, but Mtalani getting the finish. McLean on the side of the Marlins, and Ngobeni gets one of his few points. He had a quiet game and sat for most of the game, which is uncharacteristic for the number 14, formerly of the Panthers. Shange in transition. This was one of the best games thus far in the BNL season, going down to the wire, and Kyle McLean for 3 of his 14 points this late in the third quarter. And it was awesome perimeter shooting on display from both teams. We see McLean hit another one from the corner, and Linda Sibankulu drawing the foul, elevating and sending his coach Kevin Mabanga, his owner Evan Mabanga, into elation. So much joy after the win. Well done, Duzi Royals.
And a lot of joy there, guys. But going through a rundown of the weekend's highlights, we had the Panthers coming through over the Warriors. The Tshwane Suns, they're still strong. They took it over the Eagles. And then on Saturday, we had a great round of action as well, with the Limpopo Pride getting the victory over the Warriors, and the Duzi Royals getting a win in their first game over the Rhinos. And then we also had the Marlins coming through in the clutch over the Windbreakers. Having a look now at Sunday's round of action, we had the Windbreakers losing their game though to the Eagles. Great game by the Eagles, now 3-1. And of course, the final game of the weekend, which was the most exciting, between the Duzi Royals and the KwaZulu Marlins.
Hi, I'm Kenneth Mdau. Watch BNL on SuperSport.
And a great round of action from week 2 of the BNL. And guys, let's go to some touch points right now, and I want to start with the Tshwane Suns. They are really coming through and showing that they want to keep on to that title.
I don't know what it is that they're doing to their opponents, but something is really great about the Tshwane Suns in the fact that they hit the floor and they seem to strike fear in their opponents. And thus far, they're 3-0 and have been able to just scorch all of their opponents. And I'm just waiting for an opportunity or an instance where the Suns will be facing a more formidable opponent. We don't know who that opponent will be, but we're waiting for that time.
Q, now let's talk a little bit about the play of our MVP, Neo Mutiba. He is the anchor of this team. He's proving to do so in season 2 as well.
And you know, we spoke about Neo last week on the same show. You know, Neo is excellent offensively, excellent defensively. What I've got to like about the Tshwane Suns is their level of execution. They go to their set plays all the time. They run Neo off a double screen. They have different sets to try and get Neo open. They use him against undersized guards. Neo is the key to their offense, but they found other ways to start unlocking their offense around the play of Alan Denga, Dumisani Moyo, Ndu Nkonto. You know, they're looking like an all-round team, and they're going to be very difficult to stop as the season goes on.
Let's talk a little bit now about this ruling. We were expecting to see a couple of players, but we didn't see them playing. And I know you guys know the stats, you guys know the figures, you guys know the numbers. Why didn't these guys play?
Well, KP, we were all anticipating to see Larry Jackson Jr. and Corey Stern take to the court for the Duzi Royals. All the hype was about them throughout all platforms on social media. But now the one ruling that actually barred them from hitting the floor was the fact that their work permit situation had not been sorted out as yet. Yes, the players are in the country, they have their FIBA clearance, but they don't have a work permit because they are playing here and plying their trade and getting paid for playing basketball.
Now, Q, I want to move this over to you. I mean, what kind of effect does this have? I mean, you saw the crowd. There were a lot of people out here in anticipation of our American friends.
There was a lot of anticipation in the commentary booth as well. You know, a lot of fans came out here to see those two players because the hype has been on social media. They've been engaging with Duzi Royals. They've been engaging with their fans. They've been engaging with everybody who's trying to find out more about these two players. Now, them not starting, I think that was a big disappointment for everybody, and we saw it on the face of the owner, Kevin Mabanga. It really affected him and devastated him. It affected and devastated a lot of us. These guys, we see them on the sideline supporting their teams. They really are here to play. They're here to add value, and they're here to bring showtime to South African basketball.
and a great round of action for week 2. And guys, just sign us off quickly.
Well, I wanted to say, just to sign us off, I wanted to bust the kara move, but I'm not a dancer at all. But you know, it's great to have a professional league in South Africa. It's great for basketball and for everyone out there who aspires. And we hope that the basketball we see on the floor will inspire a whole lot of people out there.
Q, what are your final thoughts?
2 weeks of great action, many more weeks of great action to come. Can't wait to get to playoff stages, but I'm looking forward to week 3 of BNL SA action, and I hope everybody else is.
Well, everyone else should be looking forward to it, because I know I definitely am. And we are very, very excited about week 3 that is going to be coming up. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. We will be back for week 3 of BNL action. We are going to be out here from courtside. We're going to love the break that we're taking, but catch us for week 3.